happen. And of course, Ron DeSantis would definitely argue with your characterization of how he handled it.
But if you go back and look at the records, you will see that the biggest fan of Dr. Fauci was Ron DeSanctimonious. He was a big fan. He said, I go by, exactly, quote, I go by what Dr. Fauci said. He said that 2 months in, all the way through.
Okay, I can't.
And then eventually changed when it wasn't, that wasn't the dessert of the day. But Ron DeSantis was a big Dr. Fauci fan, and nobody wants to cover that. I say it every time.
This can't stand. Okay. I don't mean to piss off Trump supporters.
Let's go for it. It's about time.
How can you not call him out on that? It's impossible. It's impossible not to call him out on that.
Does he remember?
You are the one who kept him, promoted him, left him in there, followed his advice for a year.
Yeah.
You can't be serious that you're trying to pin Anthony Fauci on Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, so technically...
Come on, Trump supporters. I want to hear from you.
Anthony Fauci was the president of the United States for a year.
Yeah, essentially.
Is that fair?
Yeah, I'd say it's fair.
And then on the way out the door, Donald Trump gave the presidential commendation medal thing, right? The award to Fauci.
We've talked about people who have no self-awareness. How is Trump so oblivious on this issue that he dare even say that?
Right.
You avoid that issue, right? Because you were the Fauci guy.
Or maybe you just avoid debates, Pat.
Maybe.
Because that way it doesn't really come up.
But when you're asked point blank about it, I don't know. There's got to be a better answer than trying to pin Fauci on DeSantis.
Yeah, and
come on now.
I remember at one point, I forgot when this was, but I do recall when Ron DeSantis talked about wanting to toss that little elf across the Potomac River.
Yeah,
I remember that line.
Right.
Do we have there was a tweet from Donald Trump, right? January 3rd, 2021.
Okay, let's take a look. Back in time.
Okay, there it is from Donald Trump.
Something how Dr. Fauci is revered by the lamestream media as such a great professional, having done, they say, such an incredible job, yet he works for me and the Trump... Wait, you mean Ron DeSantis?
No.
Do you mean Ron DeSantis in Florida?
No.
Oh.
No.
And I am in no way given any credit for my work. Gee, could this just be more fake news? So he wants to take credit for the work that Fauci is doing and getting credit for there.
All the great stuff that Fauci's doing. Yeah.
It's agonizing. It's agonizing.
Sure is.
Every once in a while, please, you've got to admit, you got to call out Trump on some of his BS. That's unbelievable.
They can't.
I mean, I did appreciate his presidency in a big way. But that doesn't mean everything he's ever said and done since or before is perfect. Wow, that's outrageous. I mean, that's egregious. Come on now. You can't let that stand.
Okay.
Plus, Trump doesn't support lockdowns.
Right.
I'm a federalist in a sense because that's the Federalist way. No, I didn't actually have a shutdown, despite the fact that some people wanted to and some people didn't want to. But we had some great governors. The governors that did the best job were Republican governors, and they were the ones that didn't shut down.
Okay. All right.
So, he didn't have a shutdown.
And he didn't, right? He didn't. He was the president, Pat.
Yeah, right.
He didn't shut down states.
No, let's look at his tweet for some information on that.
Oh, wait, when is this? This is April 13th, 2020.
Print's
you need me to read that? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is Donald Trump. Because you recall, going on at this point in time, you've got Governor Kemp in Georgia is like, all right, enough of this nonsense.
Yeah, he wanted to open things back up, and Trump was pissed.
Yes, he was.
And has hated Kemp ever since.
For the purpose...
Ever since. Now, I believe Trump strongly endorsed Kemp and then turned on him after this.
Well, yeah, and who knows how much this had to do with Kemp not fighting for him during the 2020 election.
Well, there's that too.
Yeah, and I agree with that. So for the purpose of creating conflict and confusion, this is Donald Trump tweeting, some in the fake news media are saying that it is the governor's decision to open up the states, not that of the president of the United States and the federal government. Let it be fully understood that this is incorrect. It is the decision of the president.
Okay.
and for many good reasons.
But he's a Federalist.
With that being said, the administration and I are working closely with the governors, and this will continue. A decision by me in conjunction with the governors and input from others will be made shortly.
Okay.
After he just said that he...
And how long did the 15 days to flatten the curve last? How long did that actually
A little
last?
north of 15.
Yeah, quite north of 15. So
I
don't want to hear from him on. Well, I do want to hear from him on this issue, but I don't want him to lie. Tell the truth. Stand up and say, you know what? Yeah, we probably overreacted during that particular time.
But he can't.
But he won't.
He's incapable of even hinting at that.
That's true.
Not about the lockdowns and trusting the wrong people in his administration, not about the vaccine and the ill effects of that and the fallout from that have devastated so many lives and killed so many people. He can't even acknowledge this.
I'd respect it if he said, look, I made a mistake on Fauci. I trusted him. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have. And then move on.
You get it out there.
Doesn't support lockdowns. Yeah, he's trying desperately to make DeSantis the lockdown guy. And I'm sorry, that is just not reality. That was not reality then, and it's not now.
For a couple of beaches for a couple of weeks.
Jeez.
Got him.
Okay, I mean, he had some good moments last
absolutely,
night, too.
yeah.
And
he had
I
good
don't want to
moments,
make it out like he was just...
And he had great moments in his presidency.
Yes, he did.
We're just saying, when you get something that wrong,
Yeah.
own up to it. Period.
And Trump supporters should own up to the things he did wrong, too, because he's not perfect.
But things were a lot better under Trump.
Oh, my God.
Pre-COVID, for sure.
I mean, there's no argument about that.
Yep.
That's not what we're saying. And if it comes down to a clash between Donald Trump and Joe Biden.
It's a no-brainer.
Donald Trump and anybody from any other party. It's going to be Donald Trump, of course.
Yep, things were better there. No chaos, right? Remember? Because now it's chaos every minute of every day.
So listen to this. See if you can buy this.
I think he had very little chaos. I think most of the chaos was caused by the Democrats constantly going after me.
Yeah.
And remember this. Remember that with phony, Russia. I mean, if you look at Ukraine, everything was phony. The FISA warrants, the lying to Congress. They had chaos. They were the ones that caused the chaos. We didn't have chaos. We got the biggest tax cuts in history, the biggest regulation cuts in history. I had no wars. I'm the only president in 72 years.
Yep.
I didn't have any wars.
Okay. Yes, I can go with you on that.
Thank you. We just talked about it earlier.
Thank
we
you.
love that.
Yep. That's good stuff. Also, he talked about peace through strength, which I also love.
With people with hundreds of nuclear weapons, it's not a bad thing. They want to make it like a bad thing. It's a very good thing.
Right.
But
that's right.
Peace through strength.
Yes.
They didn't want to mess around. It would have never happened in Ukraine. Russia would have never gone in. Would have never happened. The recent attack on Israel would have never happened.
I think you're right.
0% chance that was going to happen. They see a weak president in our country, and they did something that was unthinkable. So we're going to have peace through strength. We're not going to have to fight. So
how do you argue with that?
You can't.
Yep.
You can't. We had 4 years where none of this happened.
Yep. The world, I don't care if they respected us. They sure as hell feared us under Trump.
My gosh.
And that's good enough for me.
Here, he was asked about his vice presidential pick. This is interesting.
Who would be in the running for vice president?
Well, I can't tell you that, really. I mean, I know who it's going to be.
Give us a hint.
We'll do another show sometime.
Well, what about any of the people who you've run against? Would you be open to mending fences with any of them?
I will. I've already started like Christie better.
Christie for vice president?
I don't see it. That would be an upset. Christie for vice president. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to announce.
No. I do want to get to this other question before.
All right, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
So he's already decided.
Yeah, that's interesting.